Good morning. Good Monday morning, everybody. All 13 of you. Here you come. Here you come. Wow. Where's everybody? Well, we'll get started. Here you come. Here they come. Here they come. It is Monday after all. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. November 17th. And let's do it. Drink it if you got it. Grumpy old man here. Well, those of you that are here, good to see you this morning. Good to see you. Pretty day here. Started off around 60 degrees. Going to get up into the upper 70s, I think, today. Love this weather. My favorite time of year. I love this weather. So I went outside, got a little sunshine this morning, and on my second cup of coffee now. Before, I should probably wait until more people show up before I have some announcements I need to make. But where's everybody this morning? Wow. So I'll start welcoming the people that are here. And then when people wander in, I'll make my announcements. Don't let me forget. Okay. First one in last night, Michael Pregler. Hi, Michael. How are you this morning? Good to see you. If you're here, Don Schonger came in yesterday. Sandy Blythe. Feral Grandma. I might be in if waking up goes well. I hope we see you. Lady June from England in the middle of the night, and Jem was here. Jem at 1 o'clock in the morning said, Saturday Night Live with Mitch was fun and informative. See you in the morning. And first one in this morning, Mike Seeley from Tampa, probably getting over the Hack Your Health deal over the weekend. And 518, Brian Dish chimed in. How you doing? Only 7 weeks left and 20. Yeah, I know. Wow. It's been a crazy year for me. I don't know. I don't know if I want to repeat it next year again. And Tanya checked in real early and forgot. I think that it was 9 o'clock, not 7. Good morning if you're here, Tanya. Larry Ryan checked in this morning, and Greg Smith checked in earlier this morning. Hi, Greg. Mike Seeley Sr. from here in Melbourne. Good to see you. Patty's Garden, about 8:30. Good morning. Peter's here. Good morning, Peter. Wayne Herman. Good morning from Lake Gaston, North Carolina. Annette is here. AP. Hi, Annette. Good morning to you. And Rick. Rick was a star of Hack Your Health. And actually came in and joined me for a little while from there on Saturday night. So that was fun. Terry P. Good morning. Good morning to you. Richard Williams. And Jeff Johnson, the name you know, is here. Hiya, Jeff. How are you? Mary M. Good to see you. Mark C. Mark C. is here. Good morning, Mitch and friends. Lewis with us. Hi, Lewis. Back safely from Tampa. You back up north? I imagine you went home, unless you're traveling today. Rick chimed in this morning, and Jerry Hall, how you doing? Hello. Edward Renner is with us, and Marla Kelly's here. Good morning, Marla. John. Hi, John. How are you? Larry Ryan. Mamba Bear, good morning. And Coastal Crocus. Wow, that's a new one. Good morning to you. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you this morning. Lizzie. Good morning, Lizzie. And Donna Ray's here. Bacon Runner. Terry P. Hi, Terry. And Sean Shively. Don Shiger says, I'm back. Yeah. Yeah, Rick. Maybe they're tired from Hack Your Health. I don't know. You never know here with this YouTube thing. Or with me either. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but I'm here. Louis chime back in and says, I'm here. Yeah. And Coach Juliet is here. Hi, Juliet. How are you doing this morning? And Michael Prigler got back this morning. How you doing? Let's see. Everybody's starting to say hello to everybody else. Standing Foot. Hi, Standing Foot. Mitch, your electrolyte mix fixed my leg cramps. Wow. Wow, I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. That's great. Lewis says to Rick, the highlight of my trip. Barry. Hiya, Barry. Good morning. And while I got you here, Barry, I want to tell you that I subscribed to Paramount Plus. Yes, I did. And I started watching Landman with Billy Bob Thornton, season 1. There's 2 seasons of it. I started watching from the beginning, watched a couple episodes, and you're right. You're all right about that. It is one of the best new series that I've seen in a long time. So thank you for insisting that I do whatever it takes to watch it. So I have, and really enjoyed it. Steve Rogers, good morning. Good morning, Steve. Captain America, in the house. Kansas City. Good to see you. Michael Pregler wants to know, Peter, what happened with your car? Something happened with your car, Peter? Terry Sue is here. How you doing? How you doing? Oh, Terry Sue is talking to Rick. Yeah, Rick, it's the first Saturday morning you missed being live in quite a while, I would imagine. Peter likes the happier and less grumpy Mitch at 9 a.m. Well, I found the one of the solutions to that is not watch any news in the morning, not care, because I pretty well know what it's going to be, so why aggravate myself, and try to focus on positive things. Lewis says, what happened to BitTorrent? I don't know, Lewis. I haven't been able to get that to work for quite a while now. And if you figure out what happened to it, let me know. It's just becoming tougher and tougher. And most of you don't know what BitTorrent is, but I don't want to take the time to explain it. Lewis understands, so keep in touch with us and let me know if you find a good way of doing that stuff. Peter says, insurance paid off my car loan. I got $3,000. Oh, that's right. That's right. We heard about that. Jem, good morning, Mitch and Mitch Fitz and Sean Sively. You're right. Positive is good. Jeff Johnson just finished Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind, goes into the religious origins of veganism. vegetarianism also transport system of cholesterol? Yeah, yes, Jeff. I've never read that, but we're pretty well familiar with the origins of the vegetarian movement, and it goes back to good old Ellen G. White. There's been a very few key players in screwing up the health of the whole world, and Ellen G. White was one of them. Ansel Keys was one of them. John Kellogg was one of them. And those are the ones that seem to be mentioned the most, and maybe, even though there were plenty of other players involved, maybe the key pivot points in the beginnings of this amazing amount of fallacy and propaganda that we all, and I say we all, not meaning our community, but the rest of the world, takes as reality and truth. Something hard to find these days. Reality and truth in all things, unfortunately. That gets me down when I think about it. Just about everything that the human race these days holds dear as reality and truth are not. They're not nothing that the average guy on the street believes anymore is actually has a basis in fact. That's sad. I see it every time, everywhere I look, especially in the medical community. And speaking of the medical community, let me make my announcement. Now we have 75 people here. Oh, God, I wonder where you guys were this morning. Holy cow. I was beginning to feel unloved. Perish the thought. Okay. First off, Wednesday morning, I have a dermatologist appointment at 10 after 8 in the morning. So there's just no way I'm going to be able to do a live stream Wednesday morning. So Wednesday morning's live stream, Mitch is going off to the dermatologist. I hate doctor's appointments, but if you remember, I told you the story about my melanoma and skin cancer. That's one doctor's appointment that I do take seriously. And once a year now, I go in and he examines every square inch of my body looking for any hints of cancer recurring. Since I went carnivore, well, even before that, it has not recurred. But since I went carnivore, even the pre-cancers I used to get, that they used to have to use that liquid nitrogen on my head to burn off, even they stopped. So I'm a firm believer in the fact that cancer is a metabolic disorder. And if you get your metabolic health back, that's one of the things you might not have to worry as much about. But I gotta go there, and that's on Wednesday. So I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow morning instead for this week. So I'll be here tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, and I imagine most people won't get the message, but the video will come popping up there. And my schedule's been so erratic lately, I think most people just wait, see when Mitch pops up the next time. And tomorrow night, Tuesday night, I'm not going to do the live stream because I want to go to bed early so I can get up and go to the doctor's. I'm having second thoughts about the Tuesday night live stream. I don't think it's a good night. I don't think there's enough interest in it. Saturday is going okay. Saturday actually has more replays, more views than any of the other live streams. So the Saturday night one seems to work. Thursday night, the private community. And we'll keep the morning schedule as it is, except for this week. I'm going to replace Wednesday with Tuesday. And I may pop up if I get bored, but that's that announcement. I think most people know the story of my skin cancer, but that was about 7 or 8 years ago when right on my nose I had a spot. I've had it for 20, 30 years, and had it checked every time I went to any doctor. They looked at it, and I had biopsies taken, and it always came back. They said hyperpigmentation, basically like a freckle. If it ever gets dark or changes shape or anything, that's when you need to worry. And sure enough, it got dark, and I went in. I'm glad I had it looked at it quick. They caught it early, but it was a malignant melanoma right on my nose. They had to cut out the whole entire top of my nose of skin and graft skin that they harvested from my shoulder. And for 2 years after that surgery, every 3 months, I went back to this dermatologist for a complete lookover. And then for the next few years, it was every 6 months. And after 5 or 6 years, we made it once a year now. And that's why I don't want to miss this appointment, because I am a basically cancer survivor. Melanomas are deadly if you don't get them in time. And so it's one of the few doctors who I really credit with basically saving my life, and I'll never forget that whole episode. I'll also never forget the phone call I got from their office when they got the biopsy results back, and the feeling that went through me when the nurse told me, "You have a malignant melanoma," and I right away started making funeral arrangements. So I hope nobody has to go through that. That's where I'm going to be Wednesday morning. Okay, what else do I have to announce? No Tuesday night live stream. We'll see about next week, but I think I'm going to give up on the Tuesday night live streams. I don't think it's a great night for it. We don't get a lot of attendance. It's Tuesday, you know. What else can you say about it? One day of the week, which nobody would miss if it went away. Peter says, a friend of mine's younger brother died from a melanoma on his neck. Yeah, he was only in his early 30s. It is a very deadly form of skin cancer. It metastasizes. And DS111, I will gladly watch you next Tuesday. Shades of wimpy. And Sean Chavez, I believe carnivore is cancer preventative. Yes, I certainly believe that cancer is driven by high sugar. So you get your sugar under control. In fact, I saw some interesting statistics that said, it talked about basically, where did I see this? It was on a YouTube video. And he was saying that basically more than 60 to 70% of Americans are now diabetic. And we have this thing called prediabetes, and they really tried to make these numbers sound less than they are. So they've split it up into different prediabetes, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes. Now they got type 3 diabetes, which is what they're calling Alzheimer's. They don't want the total number of people in this country that suffer from hyperinsulinemia, insulin too high. They don't measure insulin. They still measure blood sugar. Most people don't get diagnosed as diabetic until way too late. And they're already diabetic when the A1C starts to go up. If they measured insulin, fasting insulin in everybody, instead of doing fasting glucose tests, it's estimated probably 80% of the American public are already diabetic. And then they looked at the instances of heart disease, and it correlates almost right along with the instance of diabetes. And the conclusion was that, this is, maybe here and there, but the conclusion was that diabetes, which is said to increase your risk of heart disease by 5 to 7%, or 5 to 7 times, 500 to 700%, that the reason for the explosion in heart disease is not high LDL, not cholesterol. It is sugar, 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 sugar. And that if 70% or 80% or 60% even of people in this world, not just America, but in this world, are now basically diabetic, and people are still blaming fat, dietary fat, for the problem, like the Tufts Food Compass study that rates Lucky Charms cereals 9 times more healthy than an egg fried in butter or hamburger. That's why the world is upside down. The world, not only just the food pyramid, but the whole world is upside down in their thinking, and we've been had. We've been had, and they're making a fortune, and they're bankrupting all of us as a country and individually with medical expenses, drug expenses. And it isn't just the money, it's the suffering that goes along with it. So, yet they still cling to it. They still cling to it. And I'm really waiting for the new dietary recommendations, which everybody seems to be so hopeful for. But when you consider the money and power behind the current status quo, I don't expect much change. I saw something, a YouTube video was titled, Make America Health Again. They're going to turn the food pyramid upside down. Well, they did it with South Park. And it's a shame that South Park had to be the first television show to actually recognize it's not the bacon and eggs that are killing people. But that didn't get very far. I tell you what, I want to do something this morning. I see Jane just bought me a coffee. Ah, thank you, Jane. Very nice. Says, good morning, Mitch. How about that? But I want to do something here. Lewis is very prolific at Hack Your Health, and he sent me pictures and he sent me some videos, and I wanted to show you those if you haven't seen them already. So here you go. There, you see how tall Rick is. Yeah, Rick seems to be the star of Hack Your Health. Wow, I figured you would be, Rick, but I'm glad. Hope you had a good time, man. And there's Lewis with Sally Norton and Dante Ferrigno. And they tell me that's Boz. I guess that's Boz. She looks so young in that picture. But I guess that's Boz. And Mike Seeley sent me some pictures. Oh, Rick, you were the star. I'm telling you, you were the star. There's Mike Seeley Jr. from Tampa, and Rick, and there he is with Lewis. And there's the crew, and there you can see how short Kelsey is. Look at that. We got Nelson and Kelsey and Curry, Heal Humanity, and Mike Seeley and Lurch. Lurch at the end there, Rick. That's another picture of the same thing. And then Lewis sent me this.
We're filming a documentary called Healing Humanity.
The power of a proper human diet.
We are so thankful for each and every one of you. This entire documentary project has been crowdfunded and supported by this amazing community. We couldn't have done it without you. I see all the Healing Humanity shirts and those that have come up to the booth. We really appreciate you all, so thank you so much.
Wait for it. Wait for it. It's coming.
Before we get started, I want to say two things. First, we have kind of a legend in the audience today. This is an individual who has never attended a conference like this before, and he's been eating a carnivore diet for 42 years.
Wonder who he's talking about.
Can we welcome and give it up for Charger Mopar Rick?
Man, look at that.
Yeah. Also,
I thought you'd enjoy seeing that, and congratulations, Rick. That was something. Wow. Don't let it go to your head, Rick. But I'm very pleased to see that. And I had one more here from Lewis. It was at the Healing Humanity dinner. I'll play a little bit of it for you.
What is your purpose in all of this?
to give hope to the hopeless.
And in so many ways, we've all felt hopeless for so long until we learned about keto and now carnivore.
All right. Well, that looked like a nice event.
What is your why?
And enough of that. Okay. Okay. Oh, I didn't show it to you, did I? Did I show it to you? I played it, but I don't think I had the screen over there. Well, let me show you that again. Sorry, guys. Well, yes, I did show it to you. I showed it to you. Yeah. That's what I get for trying to be the talent and the producer at the same time. At any rate, I hope you enjoyed those things. That was great. Look, Noso says, looks like Rick was a hex star. Hexter. That's what I call it, the hexter. And I watched that stuff with mixed emotions. I would love to have been there, but after hearing about it and how spread out everything was, and it would have been, I think, too rough on me to spend a couple days away from home. At this point, it's a shame to miss something like that when it's so close to you. But so I felt a little bad about not being able to be there. If you have any questions for me or something you want to talk about, put some QQQs in the chat. Meanwhile, I'm going to go through and see what else. I'm trying to think that I have anything else I wanted to talk about. Well, I'm not going to be making very many standalone videos. Probably for the rest of the year. I need to slow down a little bit, concentrate more on recovering. If I do make them, they'll probably be walk and talks, and if I got something to talk about, or just take you along for a walk with me. But I'm going to keep doing the live streams, but going to slow down for the rest of the year. I just need a break from it. A lot of you can tell that this has been dragging me down. The whole world has been dragging me down, and it's affected my overall happiness. And at my age, I need to concentrate more on my happiness than on YouTube. So I'll probably be slowing down a little bit. I'll continue to do the live streams, 1 or 2 videos, maybe a week, if I feel like it. If I don't feel like it, I'm not going to feel any pressure. So I hope it's okay with you guys. I'll still be around. If I don't do that, I would probably just give it up finally and retire from it, or change my genre, because I get too aggravated by what's going on in the carnivore community, what I hear other people saying, to the point where I can't even watch other carnivore YouTubers or keto YouTubers anymore. I don't like what I hear. I don't like the direction it's all going in. I think we're overcomplicating something that's inherently so simple. We don't need 500 people on YouTube talking about it. And if there's no room for me, that's okay. That's okay. I'm old. I'll be happy to turn the reins over to some younger people to carry the ball forward. And for the rest of the year, I'm going to, just weigh my options and go where I'm wanted, I suppose. Because who wants to be where they're not really wanted or appreciated? And I know at least here on these live streams with you guys, there's a small number of people, got 102 of you here now, that are here because you must appreciate what I do. And that's why I want to be here. Everybody's talking about Peter's car. Yes. And Peter got a new car, just like his old car. How do you tell the difference, Peter? Is your new car got less miles than your old car had? Peter says he's tired of arguing with people. Yeah, I know the feeling. Simpson Johns, good morning to you. How are you? Good to see you this morning. That's what I was talking about, the cancer. Question. Mitch, what are your thoughts about doing a Tuesday 9 a.m. live to replace the Tuesday evening live? Well, I'm going to do one tomorrow morning. And that's not a bad idea. I thought about that, but let me do it tomorrow morning, and maybe we'll do it. We'll see. We'll see. I'm almost tired of making new schedules because I don't stick to them. The most important thing for me and YouTube, I don't have to do YouTube, is that I want to do YouTube. And there's too many things about YouTube in general lately that I don't like the direction so much of it is taken. I don't know how anybody can watch YouTube without paying the $15 a month to stop the stupid ads. If we turn them off, YouTube advertises anyway. So most of us just say, "Oh, we're going to run the ads," but I don't run the mid-roll ads, but everybody else does. I tried to watch a replay of Ken Berry's Monday night thing, but I was watching it from my OldGuyCarnivore account, which is not a premier account, and every 5 minutes I had to sit through ads. It was ridiculous. I just subscribed to Paramount Plus so I could watch Landman, and found out that even though I'm paying for the subscription, before each episode, I got to watch 60 seconds of advertising. There's no place that you can even buy anymore where you don't have to watch. I'm an Amazon Prime member. I got to pay an extra $4 a month so as not to see ads on the stuff I'm paying for in the first place. Cable TV. 25 minutes of every hour that you're paying for is advertising. And it's just getting worse. I can't read a whole article on the internet without every paragraph, pages of ads popping up. The world is going to hell. It's crazy. And it's just to want more money, and more money. And I'm tired of it. I'm just tired of it. I don't know what else I would do. What am I supposed to do? Just sit around and think all day? That's not good. God, Peter said, my last conversation with a coworker said, red meat takes 3-4 days to go through your body because it's very hard to digest and it's made for you. Yeah, that's what I said earlier, Peter. Everything everybody knows about everything is bullshit. I mean, that's it. That's the state of the world today. Everything that everybody knows about everything. You name the subject. You look at what everybody thinks they know about it, you'll find out it's propaganda, it's making people money, it's giving people power, And there's no reality in any of it anymore. We've proven that in diet. I don't have to prove it in politics. They're still trying to push the fact that Trump was a Russian spy, because they know that people will believe it, the worst, and will not look at reality. And it's just corruption, propaganda, and it's everywhere. It makes me want to move out and live 100 miles away from everybody with no TV, no cell phone, no nothing. And when I die, somebody in the next century may find my body there. That would be the only way to get away from the lies and the lunacy in this world anymore. And there's very few places you can go and get reality. And if you talk about reality, they're not listening. They're not listening. Because everybody's brainwashed. It's ridiculous, except the 100 people that I have here. So we're a very special group of people. Maybe the only realists left on this planet. Certainly no place for us on YouTube. But here I go. Michael Pregler said, anyone else seen ignore us, just eat sardine? No. And anybody care? It's just something else to think about. Every time you think you got it down, every time you think you decided this is what I need to eat, within 10 minutes you're watching another YouTube video that tells you, well, no, that's not right. You need to do this. I hope everybody in this community wears sneakers, because when you're wearing sneakers, it makes it much easier to change direction in a minute's notice, like on a tennis court, because that's what's happening to us in this community. And the sad reality of it is, it takes years to see if any of these changes actually did anything. You know, how you feel tomorrow or a week from now or a month from now, these changes are all very slow. And if you never settle in on something, you can never, ever determine if that something worked or didn't work, or was beneficial or made it worse for you. That's why any study in the nutritional sciences has to be 5 or 10 years to even have the chance of producing any believable or realistic results. So the basic, eat meat, don't eat sugar, don't be a Nazi about it, don't eat 8 meals a day, and if you're an addict, should be your main focus, is to get the cravings under control. And if you can do just that, with a little bit of supplementation that you think you might need, that's all you need to worry about. You can stop watching YouTube at that point and give it 6 months, because that's how long it's going to take. That's how long it's going to take. And that's one of the reasons I get so frustrated with it. Every time I browse my recommended feed in YouTube, there's another direction I'm supposed to go up. There's another. None of this stuff is new. And that's why I have to cut back on the videos, because we have to invent new stuff to make videos about. And if we're going to be a YouTuber and make a living at being a YouTuber, we have to keep inventing new urgent things that we can put clickbait out there and thumbnails that make people watch it, or else they're not going to watch it. And we're ruled by that system now. Everything is an emergency. Everything is a crisis. Everything has to be done within the next 5 minutes, including the shit we have to buy. And if you don't believe that, turn on the TV right now. It's Black Friday coming up. Everything requires you buy it now, buy it now, buy it now. I refuse to participate this year. I am not going to start throwing a ton of Black Friday specials out there. I don't want anything in my life to become urgent anymore. I want to relax. I want to cruise. I want to smell the roses. Lewis, you can't be wrong if you believe that diabetes causes your heart disease. Not at your young, tender age. Diabetes, which equates to overproduction of insulin and failing pancreas, even the tests that we have already show that it's at least increases your risk of heart disease by at least 500%. The best numbers that they can come up with in cholesterol comparing to heart disease, using absolute risk, is less than 1% increase, which is irrelevant. But what is our entire medical community? What number is it based on? Is it based on your A1C? Is that what you hear about? No, you hear about cholesterol, your cholesterol, your cholesterol. I'm so tired of these doctors. So tired of them. And you get to be old, get to be my age, you know you're going to need doctors. The greatest fear I have is having to go back to doctors for anything. I'm going to the dermatologist because that makes sense, you know. I either have skin cancer or I don't, and he'll be able to see it. And if I have it, I can deal with it. But as far as going back to a doctor to renew 15 prescriptions every week, sorry. I'm reading. Rick, a brilliant statement. Rick's statement, Mitch was right. I don't know what I was right about, but I'll take it. I will absolutely take that. You know, yeah, Peter, you're absolutely right if you're logical. But the problem is nobody sees the numbers. Nobody in the general public, let's call them civilians, has any idea about the stuff we focus on. And for us, everything is self-evident. But you think that anybody out there knows anything that the few of us in this community know, you can do a simple little test. Even your doctors. My test was I asked my doctor who was Ansel Keys. None of them. Not a single one of them. When I had my stroke, not a single doctor or health practitioner that I came in contact with, and I asked them all, do you know who Ansel Keys was? No. Do you know who Ellen G. White was? No. What's the healthiest diet? Fruit, vegetables, and healthy whole grains. Because the message cannot get to them. It's not going to get to them in the newspaper and magazines, through the news, at restaurants. They're addicted. The whole society is set up to sell to their addiction. And we have this problem. And because they're addicted, they don't want to change. What addict wants to give up the substances that he's addicted to? It's always begrudgingly. Who wants to give up all that delicious, tasty food that makes them feel so good? Gives them a hit of dopamine. Who wants to give up? What alcoholic wants to stop drinking until he's life is in a gutter and he's homeless and he's lost everything dear to him because he's an alcoholic. They just want that next drink. We are an addicted species, and that is spelling the end of us as a species. I don't give us any hope of surviving the current state of affairs. No hope. The only question is how many more generations can we last until we completely blow it up, either with nuclear weapons, artificial intelligence, or just plain poison ourselves into the grave. I'm glad I'm pushing 80 years old and I won't be here to see it, and I pity the poor people who are buried in their cell phones, being ruled by some artificial intelligence somewhere, spewing propaganda and following along blindly, just like all those dystopian movies that are out there. And anybody today that thinks that that is not the most likely outcome for the human race is also not living in reality and needs to open their eyes. I'm not the guy to, nor do I have the reach or influence to open anybody's eyes. So I try to entertain 100 people here in the morning. And try to stay happy and positive with all this going on around me. But all you got to do is just stick your head out of the sand and look around. And if you don't notice this, I envy you. But I can't not notice it everywhere I turn. Every advertisement on television is a scam. It's a scam. It's fraud. It's corrupt. Every word out of a politician's mouth, I don't care what side they're on. Some are worse than others. But there's always an agenda or extortion behind it. Most judges these days are bought and paid for. All the media is bought and paid for. Even we carnivore YouTubers are bought and paid for and pushing crap supplements that turn out to be proven a fraud. I won't mention any names. Even the biggest of them and the most are making a lot of money. I'm probably making the least money of any carnivore influencer with my number of subscribers. That's because I refuse to whore myself out for a few bucks. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? That was my rant for this morning. I do a little rant. Far behind me. I'm behind. Let's see what we're talking about lately here. Everybody's talking to Peter. Seems to be carrying the chat this morning. Everybody's talking to Peter. Are you listening? Anybody listening to me? I hope so. Michael Pregler, I gave up all the substances that I was addicted to because I chose life over death. Pretty simple. Carnivore Farm Mom is here. How you doing? Yeah, Terry Sue says, it's like when you watch Landman. Someone is always pouring a drink. The alcohol. Yeah, alcohol is so built into our society. You can't watch any TV show, even a sitcom, where they're always walking around with a glass of wine in their hand or drinking a beer out of a bottle. Always the first thing any of them do in anything, I don't care if it's a crime story, whatever it is, the first thing they do, the first thing, head for the fridge, pop a cold one, or pour a glass of wine. It has become our culture. Our culture is food and drink equals merriment and good times and enjoyment, even though it's killing us. And the companies that sell this crap, they love it. They're pushing it. And it happens to us subtly and subliminally through what they call product placement. Product placement. You know, when you're watching a show and there's a bunch of computers, like in a squad room of a police station, and you'd have to notice that the word Dell shows up on the back of every one of those computers. Dell pays for that. In-house MD, that whole series was nothing but product placements, the most obvious of which was Hyundai. Every time any of them got in a car, they had a long shot of the car and then a picture of the electronics and the navigation screen, and then it backed off to the steering wheel where it had the Hyundai logo, even though it had nothing to do with the story. That's product placement. And if any of you have ever seen Jim Carrey, what was the name of that show where he was living in a big studio? You know what I'm talking about. They made a big deal about the product placement, about always stopping in the middle of everything. Well, that's what our YouTube channels have become. And now a word from our sponsor. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting absurd. And I ran about it. Sorry, guys. Sorry, but I live in a real world. I notice that as much gets past me anymore because I know what to look for, and I'm never disappointed. I always find it. Patty's Garden, alcohol has never had a place in my life since my early 20s. My drinking, well, you know, some people don't like alcohol. When I was a young man, everybody was drinking, but I didn't enjoy it. I only drank as a socially, and I wasn't a very social kid, so I didn't drink a lot. I never liked it. And then when I was a young man in the Army, I got drunk one time, and I really didn't like that, and I never drank since then. I was stationed for a few years in Germany, even with all the beer and everything. I went to the Oktoberfest. I had one beer, and it was enough. I didn't like it. I don't like the taste of it. I wish I felt the same way about sugar. I wouldn't have any problems. But addiction is a real thing, and not everybody's addicted to everything. And that's why I keep saying that the most important thing in a carnivore or keto or health space or diet space, the most important factor that determines the failure or success of anybody is the level of addiction they have. And I tried to push this carb addiction spectrum, but nobody cared. Nobody gave it a second thought. Other big-time carnivore influencers actually poo-pooed it, said carb addiction is not a real thing, and you know about that. And when that happened, I said, hell with this. Why do I even bother? I know what the real problem is. I can give you 10,000 examples of it. Each of you personally, probably, at the level you fall on that spectrum. And for those of us that are severe carb addicts, which is most of us, believe it or not, these days, to take advice from people that are not carb addicted would be like an alcoholic taking advice from me. I have no idea how they feel. I cannot fathom the draw that alcohol might have or drugs that I don't use. But I can certainly identify the draw of sugar. But it's societally incorrect for us to admit even that sugar is addictive. And yet, look around. Look at what's become of us since we started consuming huge quantities of sugar and stopped consuming red meat. Jem says, Mitch, you have a question. I wouldn't be surprised. Let me go in here and hit the F3 button and type QQQ and see what shows up. Peter, Mitch, what are your thoughts about doing a Tuesday thing? Got that one already. Next, QQQ. DS111, Bella made a video a couple days ago about the bottled mineral waters and the PFAs. but I know me and will not quit the one daily glass bottle Topo Chicho. No, that's okay. You know, there's plastics everywhere. You're going to have to live with plastics. Oh, my phone just said spam risk. Get a call. That's what you need today. You need to have full-time guards on everything. You need to have blockers on your computer and antiviruses and spam filters on your cell phone. I get at least 5 calls a day that are blocked by this program that I run that recognizes spam, and then that always leaves a voicemail of 3 seconds, and it just happens. I can't get rid of it. Every time it happens, I block it. I block that number, but it's the same every day at the same time. Late morning, I get a slew of these calls. It's the same spammer, but they mimic a new number every time they call, and I have to block each one of these numbers every time. But I'll get the same calls tomorrow. And you can't get away from it. It makes you want to throw away your cell phone. That's the world we live in. I feel like a target. Honest to God, I feel like I got a bullseye painted on me. And everywhere I go and everything I do, somebody's trying to get the better of me. And I don't know if am I the only one. I don't think I'm paranoid. But it's out there. It's out there. And it's no way to live. It's no way to live. But there are many times, I like the conveniences of all this technology that we have. I like the fact I can turn on my lights by talking to something or get reminders. But every day I long more and more for the days before they invented cell phones. And we had answering machines. At worst, we had a pager. We were really important. Okay. You know me, I'm a grumpy old man. What character can I create for you? Suggestions. I'll let you know, Barry. Thanks. John Beatty Art, Mitch, were you at all interested in watching Gavin DeBaker on Joe Rogan? I didn't have time yet. I thank you, John. I appreciate it. It's still in my inbox. In fact, I can show you my inbox. It's right here. Here's my inbox on my Gmail account, and there's your email where you sent me the link to this. So I just haven't gotten to it. I don't know who that is. I will watch it. I will watch it today, and I appreciate. I don't mind people sending me things. It's no big deal for me to check out a link. I do get a lot of that, though. I get an awful lot of that, and a lot of times it's nothing that I would ever be interested in. But I still appreciate the fact that people think of me. What I don't appreciate is for people to throw my OldGuyCarnivore Gmail address into a group mailing list of 100 other names when I start getting, and these people, some of them are very prolific communicators, social media hogs, and send out 20, 30 things a day that they think one or more of the 100 people on the list may like, and I get barraged with those. And those people, I'm sorry, I blocked your email address. I can't do it. I was starting to get 20, 30 emails a day from some of those people that just like to send shit to people and put me on a list with 100 of their other friends, and I don't want that. And I'll just block that email address the minute that starts happening. I can't do it. My phone goes ding, 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 ding all day long. All day long. What do we get here? We got a Barry Simon. Check email for logo update. Oh. Okay, Barry, let me do that. Hang on a second. Thank you. Thank you for the super chat. And let me refresh this. Barry says, brought to life. Let's see. Couldn't preview file. There was a problem playing the video. Let me see. Oh, now it's sent me off to a series of advertisements. Let's try it again. Let's try downloading the attachment. Okay, and let's see if I can open it. Holy cow! Ah! I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, guys. I love it. You rock, Barry. Oh, man. Let's see that again. That is outstanding. Outstanding. Look at that. Wow. God, I mean, I'm not crazy about artificial intelligence, but be able to do that kind of thing with it, that's great. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Barry. Thank you so much. You got too much time in your hands, my friend. Oh, wow. I'll drink to that. Let's see any more QQQs. QQQ, we got, what are your thoughts about the Tuesday night? I talked about that at Bella, made a video a couple of days ago about bottled water, got that one. What character? Can I agree with you, Barry, with that? Mitch, were you interested in watching Gavin? Got that one. Jim, question. An 80-year-old man in my neighborhood going to dermatologist as his black spot. They did biopsy and his choice was Moth's surgery. I don't know if that's a typo. Or 12 months radiation, I don't know. Okay. Was that a question? I don't see what, Jim, I don't see what I can add to that. Barry says, is that why you got a Hyundai from House? No, you know, House, the producers at House, they don't make a move without checking with me first. You all don't know how important I am in this world. I got a call from the producers, Mitch, what kind of car do you like? And I told them I drive a Hyundai. And they said, well, if you drive a Hyundai, it must be good. And that's that's what they did. No, I found, oh, wow, it's a long story. When I had money, I used to drive nothing but Mercedes. I even had a Rolls Royce. Both maintenance nightmares. And I spent so much money on those cars, and German cars are maintenance nightmares. I'm sorry. They're supposed to be the best cars in the world. They're the most expensive cars to own. Something's always breaking. Then I go broke, and I filed bankruptcy. I had to go and take a bankruptcy, and my credit was shot. I needed a new car. So it was in 2010, 15 years ago, in 2010, Hyundai had just redesigned their entire company. They opened a plant in Huntsville, Alabama, to build the cars. The Hyundai Sonata was one of the most gorgeous new designs I'd ever seen. It was basically an American-built car, and the price was unbelievably low. I went in and I leased the base model of the 2011 Hyundai Sonata when they first came out. That was the new design. It was a gorgeous looking car. I leased it for $200 and something a month. with no money down. And my son, at least at my son's name, because my credit was shot. I couldn't lease it, couldn't buy anything on credit. I was broke at the time. So my son leased it for me. Of course, I paid for it, but it was leased in his name. And I started driving these Sundays. I drove that car for 2.5 years, and it was, other than oil changes, never went into the shop. And I'm used to a Mercedes where every 2 weeks you had to take it to the shop for something and spend thousands of dollars. Timing chain broke. What? It's only got 40,000 miles on it. Well, it's a Mercedes. The timing chain broke. I had one. All of a sudden, my windshield washers were squirting antifreeze. I said, how does that happen? Well, it seems that in the cooling tank, where you poured the windshield washer fluid, was a heating element that they ran coolant through to heat up the windshield washer fluid, and that sprung a leak. So it was pumping antifreeze into my reservoir tank. Things go wrong with those cars you cannot believe. They're nightmares. Mechanical nightmares. This Hyundai, nothing. So the lease was coming due. I had it in for an oil change. They said, every time you take your car into a dealer for service, you become a sales prospect, especially if your lease is going to be up in 6 months. So I got my lease coming due in 6 months. I'm in there getting an oil change. And I'm looking at the new cars, and sure enough, they figured out a way to get me out of the old one, the old lease, into a brand new one for very little money. And I started a chain of events that lasted almost to the present. Just getting out of a lease before it comes due and trading in for a different car and stay the lease. It turns out to be the cheapest way to drive a car I've ever seen. Owning a car is not cheap. But this way, when I do it my way, it's always a brand new car every couple of years. It's always in warranty. You never have any maintenance costs. Usually the oil changes and all the routine maintenance is included with the lease. And the only kicker is you can't drive too many miles. So I got to, I don't drive 5,000 to 6,000 miles a year. I'm perfect for that. So I lease cars. I made the mistake on my last car. I had a Telluride where I actually bought it. My credit is perfect now. I recovered from all that. I don't need my son to buy cars for me. I've saved some money up. I have no problems. I've recovered very nicely from the financial disaster that I had by living frugally and not just giving up everything I had in my life that was expensive. The boats, the airplanes, I don't need that anymore. But that's what I do with the cars now. How I got onto that, I don't know. Question. We talked about house and advertising. Advertising the Hyundais. That's what I do. I go off in different directions very easily and forget how I got when I turned onto that road. Any more questions? Let me see. Question, are you interested? That's John Beatty. And question, I saw that you can lease an Elantra for $99 a month. Should I do it? Says Tristan. Well, you got to be careful. Most of there are no deals unless you know how to negotiate a lease. I can lease a brand new Bentley with a sticker of $460,000 for $99 a month. I can do that. I can lease a $150,000 Cadillac Escalade, the new electric one that sells for $150,000. I can lease that for $99 a month. Now, it's possible. Do you want to know how? let's take that Elantra. So that Elantra is probably, what, $30,000 car? Well, if you put $20,000 down, the lease amount is figured on the difference between your down payment and what's left owed on the car, because it's just financing. So when you see these things that say $99 down, it's probably a ridiculous low mileage lease. It's going to be on the base model, the one you're lucky has air conditioning and seats and wheels on it, and it's going to require a disproportionately large upfront payment, so that when they're done, the amount that you actually owe on the car is low enough where it can be leased at $99 a month. Because when you lease a car, you're financing the difference between what you put down on it and what the car costs with all the add-ins. You don't pay sales tax on a car when you lease it. You pay the sales tax on the payment each month. So in that respect, you save money by doing that. And if you understand lease finance and understand things like money factor, residual cost, residual value, and you know how to negotiate it, you can negotiate the best deal in the world on a car. I know all that. I know that. I know the back end finance of a car dealer, like, because I wrote software for them long time ago, 40 years ago. I was writing F&I software for car dealers. So I know how it works. So I go and talk to a car dealer, and they talk to me, and in 3 minutes, they know I know as much about they do, and they don't pull dirty tricks on me. And I can negotiate something that is acceptable for them, but they're not going to make the money on me that they make on other people. Because built into every car dealer is half fraud and everything else, depending on how badly you look like you want it. I could put out a course on how to buy a car, tell you how to act, what to say, what not to say. But like any negotiation in life, you're never going to get the best deal unless you're willing to walk away. Unless you're willing to stand up and say, nah, forget it, I don't need it that bad. And most of the time they call you back. You can't negotiate from a position of eagerness. And most people can't hide when they're sitting across from a car salesman how eager they are to get a new car. That's one of the beauties of trading in a lease early, because you already got a car. It's a nice car. And when I know every time I go in for an oil change, I'm going to be pitched on a new car. And the one thing I got going for me is I go, I don't need a car. What are you doing? I got a car. I got 6 months left on my lease. You know, why should I do that? Why should I get a new car now? This car's fine. I'll deal with it when the lease is up. Well, if they know you're going to walk away, they keep making the deal better. And then finally I kind of capitulate and say, you're killing me. So you're killing me. You're killing me here. All right, let me tell you. This is what I'll do. Do this, I'll do this, I'll do that. And I tell them what the lease factor has to be. I tell them what the payment has to be. I tell them that there's no money down. I tell them I need the maintenance. I don't want any of the extras that you sell. I don't want the undercoating. I don't want the fancy paint treatment. I don't want anything. I said, that's it. That's the deal. I think my car is done. I'm ready to go home. Go see if you can sell that to your manager. And that's what happens. And I know the dealership. I've been dealing with them for all these years, and they know me. And they usually come back and say, can't do it. And I say, okay, see you next time. Because sometimes I push them too hard. But if you're not willing to negotiate like that, you're going to get taken advantage of. So that $99, don't ever go ask about a lease deal you see advertised on TV or you get in the mail. Is always a catch to it. Always a catch. And nobody, just like diet, nobody really knows all that much about how car dealers work in the back room. Good question, though. Good question. That's what I ought to do. I ought to start. I'd probably do real well on a channel telling people how to buy cars rather than trying to teach people how to eat meat. Hang on a second. What happened? There it is. Okay. I wanted to go back and look for any more. Let me try it again. What are my QQQs? Well. Look at the time. 10:15. 92 people. Well, that's not bad. Not bad turnout. About average. Y'all are chatting up a storm. I'm off on all kinds of tangents. Terry Sue loves bidets. Okay. Lizzie says, I bought a new 2019 Sentra for $8K. It's paid off, cheap gas, smaller car I've ever had. Yeah, there's something to be said for just buying a car and holding on to it. That's one of the few things I can treat myself to these days. I like the gadgets. I like the new cars. I love that car I've got now. I'm a little less than a year into a 3-year lease. So I'll keep it for maybe another year or so. You always have the option when you lease a car of buying it. You always have a buyout value. And if you negotiated the lease right, the buyout value will be a good price for the car. So if but I always go in these things. I always like the new car so much. Oh man, I'm going to buy this. I really like this car. And then after a couple of years, and you start looking at the new cars that are out there, all of a sudden you don't want to drive the old one. So that's one luxury I've allowed myself my whole life, as I've always had nice cars, nice vehicles, and even when I went broke, I was so happy with that new Hyundai and the new design of it and the reliability of it. And I got to tell you, I would recommend it. Hyundai and Kia are the same company, in case you don't know. They're both, Kia is owned by Hyundai. The cars are exactly the same mechanically. They share the same chassis, the same frames, the same motors. The difference is in the styling, the interiors, the design, and the marketing. And in that respect, they're wildly different. Simpson John says, question, anyone have their local DMV tax, the value, they think the value of your vehicle is rather than what you paid for it? Bought my Volvo through a salvage for $750. They taxed me for, yeah, they do that sometimes. If you get it, if you get a gift, although not in Florida, they don't. I don't know what state you live in, but in Florida, they don't do that. In Florida, if you can prove somebody gave you that car for $100, they're not going to charge you any more in sales tax. There are states that charge you personal property tax. They come around, they need you to estimate the value of your furniture, your belongings, your clothes, your TVs, and they tax you every year on that amount too. And if they can invent some new taxes, they figure out how to do that. It depends on where you live. There are some states that, I swear, with all the taxes they have, they add up to 110% of your income. So now we're talking about cars. Oh, that's great. Cars are fun. I'm saving for an older truck, says Lizzie. Well, I bought this big Palisade of mine. I released it because I live alone. I live in a, mobile home. I live in a hurricane area. The likelihood of having to evacuate is very real for me. And I have a lot of stuff very near and dear to me that's in my house. Now, I don't know if that's may have changed, because now I would have a hard time loading up the car and just hitting the road, recovering from the stroke and everything. But that's why I started driving the bigger vehicles. I don't drive enough where the difference in gas between a big 3-row SUV and a tiny little economy car makes that much difference, because I don't drive that many miles. I'm not on the road all the time. But I always wanted to be able to make sure I could carry enough stuff with me, valuable stuff that I have, stuff that I need, things like my computers, because I've all my businesses on them, and all the software I have, and my clients' backups and things like that. I'd have to take a lot of that with me. I want to take some artwork or memento. Anyway, I would need a semi-truck to load up everything I wanted to take with me, but at least with this big thing, I could fit enough in there where I could escape, never knowing if there was even going to be a house when I got back. And that's one of the prices you pay for living in Florida. Hey, Chris Hope, good morning to you, my friend. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Well, listen, I think I've about outstayed my welcome this morning, so play a little happy music. Say goodbye to your friends in the chat. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Rick says he needs 6 semis to move his stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not far behind you, Rick. Not 6, but when I moved it, right now, to load all the stuff I got in this house up, it would take more than 1 semi, unfortunately. That's crazy. I should be able to live out of a suitcase. And Lady June says, bye, all, Terry Sue, Jem, Ed DLC. Hi, Mitch, Ed from Delaware. Eat meat, yes, sir. DS111 says, Mitch is all talked out. Well, my voice is hanging in there. CB Carmack, how you doing, CB? Didn't see you. Good morning to you. Lori Weitzel, thank you, too. Thank you, too. Rick says, have a good day. Danny in Boston, happy day all. Terry Sue, bye. Mitch, Lizzie. Some emojis. Tristan, take the rest of the day off and eat meat. I intend to. Denise Kink says, bye all. Tony P, have a great day all. Don Schauger, see ya. Steak and eggs time. Yep, no feeling. Jem, Mitch, and the Mitch, this was fun talk. Well, we were all over the map today. But thank you guys for sending me the stuff you sent me, the pictures and the videos. Lewis, thanks a lot. Rick, good to see you. Congratulations on the reception that I knew you were going to get. Everybody was saying, I wonder if anybody's going to recognize me. I was laughing at you. So I'm glad it came true for you, my friend. And there we are. So with that being said, I will see you tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. And until then, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.